You don't have to watch it and it does it. So, but we are live. So
I did it.
All right. I'm hoping this week that my mouth cooperates and I speak clearly.
You did have a weird week last week. I think you were really tired.
We kind of rushed when we started, and then I it's been nonstop since right after the 1st of January. Yep. And I think I'm just a little burnt right now. So, but that's okay. Strong. Keep doing it.
Yes.
YOLO. You only live once, right?
You only live once. Get in the gym. It helps.
I know. Getting back in the gym is a necessity. So I'm going to start it. Look, I'm already starting. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to the Dog Gurus Live. We are your trusted pet care business coaches, passionate about helping pet care professionals create safe, thriving, and profitable facilities. So at the Dog Gurus, we're all about promoting safety first and positive always in everything that we do. I'm Shantae Marquez, and I'm with Coach Amber Burkhalter. And together, we've worked with countless pet care business owners to help them achieve their goals and elevate their operations. So today's topic that we're going to be talking about is, oh, you know what? That's the wrong thing. So today's topic is going to be about dynamic playgroups. Yeah, I had the wrong copy up. Dynamic playgroups, and really we're going to talk about play styles. And this is a great topic because I think I talk to pet care business owners all the time, and they're looking for ways to really help their playgroups be better and help their staff be a little bit more confident. And I can identify with that because I remember before I started using Pet Guru College, I would hire great people. Okay, it's the staff that would work for me. They were awesome. They love dogs. They grew up with dogs all their life, but they didn't have any formal training in understanding canine body language and play styles and off-leash play. And what happened is that they would become overly cautious, and they would be putting dogs in timeout, maybe too quickly.
Yeah.
Or they would think that the dogs were gonna start fighting when they weren't necessarily. So once I started using Pet Guru College, that really helped with that issue. They were able to, number one, make the play groups much better by grouping them based on matching play styles. So that was great. And they just became more confident because they knew that they were doing the right thing. But in turn, look, the dogs were happier because they were matched better and it was a safer environment. So those were some of the things that I noticed when I started teaching my staff how to read canine body language and how to, understand body language during group play.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's hard. Some of us are just naturally gifted in that area. You just see it coming long before it happens. For me, it was always really challenging because I could see it coming, but I had a hard time verbalizing and teaching my staff the same things. So once this type of material came out and there were videos and you could watch them together, you could rewatch them together, and then you could take videos from your webcams, let's say at work, and say, look, these are the same things. That just opened a whole new chapter for us in training our staff. And they got it. They could see it coming, they could see this play style doesn't mix well with this play style, or we've got too many dogs in the room that want to get rowdy right now. They could read the room much better, and they knew how to intersect and how to calm the room down and how to use timeouts appropriately. So yeah, it's a game changer for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're going to be talking about this, Amber will go through and talk about different play styles. And then I'm going to try to do this smoothly, but I'm going to be sharing my screen and show you actual footage from Pet Guru College so you can get a sense of how we teach it in our facilities. Oh no, I think Amber's frozen again. Oh, there you are. I can hear you. So I'll just kind of continue on. Oh, there you are, Amber.
I'm here. I don't know what happened. Okay, so we're going to start with chasing. Do you have some footage you want to bring up?
Yes.
Awesome. So chasing, I can't.
Oh, here, let me see if I can make it bigger for you. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Let's see. I think she's stuck. Okay, so the first play style that we're going to talk about is chasing. So now this game is probably one of the most common things that you're going to see in the facility, but you have to be careful because what we recommend is that you don't allow chasing for more than a minute. You know, they can chase a little bit. It's pretty natural. Dogs love to do it. But once it turns into where the whole pack starts to chase one dog, that's where things could possibly lead to a negative situation and lead to a dangerous situation. So what we recommend is you can let the dogs play. If they stop and break and kind of wrestle a little bit and then chase each other, break, wrestle a little bit, that's what we want to see. So chasing in this little photo here, it talks about how chasing can it can shift into predatory drift very quickly. And that's what I mean. If the whole group is chasing one dog and then they start nipping at them, they're all going to start nipping at them. So what we recommend is break that up by just, redirecting, or maybe use body blocking, things like that, to get them to switch up that play style. That becomes it's much safer for the group and the dogs that are being chased. So, and let me go ahead, I'm going to tee up a video and you can kind of see it in action. Okay. So let's see, we're going to go move ahead here. Okay, here we go. And we'll say this is good chase because they stop and take a break. Okay, so let's see.
I'm back.
Okay, I'm just showing them. I went over chasing and I'm showing them a video.
This is great video. How far into chasing?
See how they stop chasing, they're wrestling a little bit, and I think they go back into it. But I'll replay that again, just one more time for everybody. That was, oh, wait, here. Oh, it's a little bit more ahead. These guys are doing cat-like play style. But
did you get the opportunity to talk about predatory behavior at all?
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
And I talked about how after, about a minute, really, if they haven't stopped and broken up naturally and started wrestling like these two dogs did, then we recommend redirecting.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's move on to neck biting. And I think neck biting is actually the scariest for new staff members because they're really unsure whether it's safe or not.
Yeah. Well, and it looks super scary, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
I think I don't know if
it's not me. Everything's turned off. That's funny. Yeah, well, because what happens a lot of times is that people see the neck biting and it just looks like, oh, you're really going to hurt the other dog because you're biting their neck, right? We wouldn't do that to each other. So it looks really out of place and out of sorts, but it's a really natural behavior for our dogs to do. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, here we go. I'll put this up.
Yeah, it's a form of wrestling. I love this. It's often seen when dogs are lying down. So you'll see them lie down and both of their mouths will be open and they'll be kind of doing this play style with, raw kind of stuff and then chewing on each other's necks. The other thing that I have seen a lot is with puppies. The younger dogs really do this a lot. But they should be really, like it says, they should be loose and relaxed. There shouldn't be a pinning down behavior or any kind of shaking behavior. All of those are red flag behaviors, right? We want to step in, we want to do something. I love the benign play style. It's just really relaxed and loose. We're just playing with each other. A lot of what is happening there is what's called bite inhibition. So we're learning how to play with other dogs in a healthy way. So when you see a lot of neck biting, that's what's happening there. You shouldn't ever hear anybody squeal or cry out. Those are all signs that it has gotten way out of control. Yeah. Sometimes it happens on accident. They don't mean sometimes to be too rough with each other. But yeah, that's generally, you want to see this when the most key part here is that they are laying down. That's the key piece. You don't want to see chase and then neck grab and then tackle. That's not great behavior. That's some behavior we want to step into for sure.
Yeah, and the other thing that I noticed when we'd have puppies come in and they're learning how to play properly is if they bite ears. Now, once we see biting of the ears, that is not okay, because that hurts. That hurts.
It does. And anytime you have a dog vocalizing, all the other dogs get like, what's going on? What's happening, right? You start to see this like frenetic energy. So any kind of vocalizing is definitely something that we want to step into and calm down.
Okay, I'm going to tee up a video for neck biting. And I chose this specific video because it's with dogs that, I think can be interpreted to be scary.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I love it.
So here we go. Let me go back and show this. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So a lot of times, this is great because of the breeds here. People can get and may have some pre-existing beliefs about what's going on there. But this is very nice, loose play. There's not any pinning. No one's getting pinned to the ground here. No one's squealing. What you also see is the vacillation between who is doing it, right? Not one dog is doing it. They're both doing it. They're going back and forth. And they're like jumping up and down. All of their behavior is nice and loose. These are all play behaviors. When you should get concerned is when one dog does not look like they're having fun and they may be running away. Then you definitely want to step in a balanced play, right? We're going back and forth. We're both doing it and on the ground.
All right.
I love on the ground play. That's my favorite kind of play because nobody really gets fired up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I always would get nervous. Okay, when they're playing, they're biting back and forth, they're kind of wrestling. But when it got too much onto their hind legs and they really started like continually doing that over and over, I was like, okay, that arousal is starting to escalate, and that's where we need to step in, redirect, maybe do some body blocking to kind of get them to just lower that arousal level.
It's interesting you say that because I used to say if they're going higher, if they're getting their bodies higher and higher, their arousal is going higher and higher. And that is a visual cue for you to step in and be like, okay, let's do something else.
Yeah. High arousal equals high risk. So just remember that. Okay. So as they get more worked up, that's where things will quickly get out of hand. And that's where your staff should be recognizing those things before it gets to that level and doing techniques to, break them up, redirect, walk in between them, maybe get their focus somewhere else.
Yes. You want to do what you can to keep arousal levels low. It doesn't mean they can't play. Sometimes we would get staff that would be like, well, no one's going to play in my yard because they just felt safer if no one played. But that's not what you want either. You want them to play and have fun.
Yeah, that's not what the dogs want. And that's what their owners want too.
No.
So, they're there to have fun. But this is also why we recommend to switch from the format of all day play to really short structured periods of play and, rotating groups, small groups in and out. It's going to be so much easier for you and your staff to manage, and it'll just be a ton safer.
Well, and we would notice one of the reasons that we went to enrichment, and I loved it because of this, is as the day got longer. So when pickup time started, which was around 4:30 or 5, if we were going to have a problem, that was almost always when it happened. Because the dogs were tired, they might be over aroused, they get excited because the gate is opening and people are leaving, and then you would have a tussle.
Yeah, it's always
it's always the gate. That's why gate control is so important. That enrichment exercise is so important for us. Yes.
Yeah.
But and just once we started doing that, it didn't really happen anymore. It really helped us.
Yeah. And think of it this way. If you have a small child and they had all day of recess, what do you think would happen?
Yeah.
I mean, look, a little tussle is going to break out. Somebody's going to get dirt in the eye. Maybe somebody's going to get their knee skinned. Yeah. They're, tired and they're
somebody's crying for sure.
It's the same thing with the dogs. So
it's like the end of the day at Disney World, right? Like kids are coming unglued.
That's my nightmare. But if you have to talk to your pet owners about it, use analogies of children. That's so helpful. And it usually clicks like that with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about body slamming.
Yes. All right. So this is, yeah, I love this. So this is a type of wrestling play that typically larger dogs are going to engage in, and it can be really rough. If you're not used to seeing it, particularly your staff that is not used to seeing it, it can be a little scary. The biggest piece here is that you stay on top of it, that you pay attention to it, you listen to vocalizing, you watch to make sure that there is balanced play happening. That's when things can kind of get a little bit out of control, and injuries can happen for sure. I mean, over 20 years, we had some injuries that were a result of dogs just playing.
Mm-hmm.
So interrupting, getting in between them, body blocking, slowing everybody down. Sometimes you'll find that one or two dogs just, especially as you get later in the day, you might have to adjust your small group play because some of them really bounce off each other. And in the afternoon, they would see each other and just start getting crazy. And so we would split those kinds of dogs up. So
yeah, and this is why we really recommend when you are evaluating dogs and you're making notes on dogs that you update it from time to time to mention their play styles. And then that way your staff have something to look back on to know how to formulate those groups.
Yeah.
But if you have complementary play styles, it's going to be much better than, and also dogs of the same sizes too, because, body slamming only works if the dogs are roughly the same size.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yes. No, it's true. I mean, you certainly don't want, a German Shepherd body slamming a Pomeranian, God forbid. Like, that's not play.
And I mean, there are some like Frenchies that are real tough and they don't want to get into it, but still, I would still say that it's probably better to not put like a German Shepherd or a Rottie with a Frenchie, and have them play together.
Well, and look, here's the bottom line. At the end of the day, the Frenchie is smaller. And if the larger dog falls on a smaller dog in this play, they can really hurt them. I mean, there's different in weight, right? Their weights are different. Do we have a good video for this one?
I do. Yay. Let me bear with me while I change this. So I think it's all right. Here we go. Hold on. Body slamming. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, similar size. Boxers love this kind of play. Yeah, so I might interject a little bit in that just because it looked like one of them was getting pushed a little bit.
Yeah, well, and do you see the black dog was about to be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah. Yard cop is what we call that. The yard cop was moving in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I would agree on that too.
Yeah. We'll see.
We can watch it again so everybody can see what we're seeing.
So everything's okay here, but then it starts to, you see how the boxer is really starting to kind of get a little bit aroused and pushing the other dog.
And the dog had to climb over
him.
Yeah, here's some more. Yeah, that's one where that's why we said this one you have to be careful about because it's easy to really start to get the arousal levels too high.
Yeah.
So do we want to talk about Three's a Crowd?
Oh, I love Three's a Crowd. Let's talk about Three's a Crowd.
And I do have a little video.
Do you think Three's a Crowd? I know that was something I threw out there. Did you think that it is?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would tell my staff that all the time. And that, I mean, look, we just saw it in that last video when the arousal was starting to get too high. The black dog came in and was actually redirecting and using body blocking to split him up. So hey, he was like, maybe
he had been through Pet Guru College.
Exactly. But let me show a video.
Yeah, anytime we call it rule of three, right? Anytime there's something about the balance of play, when you have two dogs playing, it's fine. And then when you have a third one that gets into it, it can just get out of control very quickly. There's something that is happening in that dynamic.
Well, it's two dogs are ganging up on one dog. I mean, that's pretty
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's outnumbered. It has to be balanced, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the video where it shows that.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. It's coming. Oh, this one. Oh, he kind of came in on the side. I think they stopped the video.
The retriever did. So we're body slamming.
And it is kind of,
It's a little intense play, but they're playing. Everything's
Yeah.
okay, right? There's a lot of give and take here. And here in a second, you're going to see this retriever coming from the right.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
think it was
always
a
the
retriever.
retrievers. Here
Here
it
he
goes.
goes. Okay, so if you really look, you can see his tail is up high and his ears are forward. Like all of his body language has gone forward too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Your time. So. Oh, they stopped it because that's not what they're really showing.
No, they stopped it there. But yeah, rule 3, certainly. 2 is great. 3, things can get where they start targeting a dog. So they'll both turn, right? And start targeting one dog, which is never fun. It's never fun for anyone. It's certainly not fun for our dogs either. Not to say that dogs and human are the same, but.
Right, exactly. So hopefully that helped you and your staff have some more clarity on play styles and how to really recognize them, and maybe how to match up the dogs with those similar play styles so you could have better groups out there that are safer and more fun for the dogs. If anybody's interested in checking out Pet Guru College and they want a demo, I'm going to put up a link for you and you can schedule a demo with me. So go ahead and put it here, and more than happy to show you that. But Pet Guru College covers all sorts of things. So it covers client communication, it covers team communication, pet health, workplace safety, equipment safety, positive dog handling skills. So that is the only type of dog handling skills that we actually teach in our curriculum. So just know that you can always be rest assured that your staff's going to learn positive reinforcement handling with us.
Yeah, and you can run a very safe facility using positive reinforcement. You don't have to use any type of punishment-based control measures for sure.
Yeah, and I think that there is a little bit of risk when you do have those techniques because, people, if you're not teaching that in person or if you're teaching it from a video, they can interpret it in different ways and use too much force here or there and not really be using it correctly. And Amber, I know you have a lot to say about this, so I'll let you speak.
Yeah, what I have a lot to say about it, but I will say this. As a trainer, over 25 years of experience, if you have been around people and our dogs, we don't reward in a timely fashion. We don't even say, good dog or give a cookie or, pet or whatever in a timely fashion to reinforce a behavior, to reinforce a decision. If we enter into that same equation, now we're going to do something punishment-y, whatever that is, the timing is likely off, which means the dog is not really going to understand what is happening, why that happened. And the problem with any kind of punishment-based training is there's a side effect or fallout. And the fallout behavior can cause other behaviors. Now, there can also be side effects to positive reinforcement, but the side effects of those are usually things that we can deal with, like a dog who wants more attention, or maybe he's looking, if you choose treats at home, he's looking for treats at home. Those are behaviors that we can deal with and we can extinguish. We really don't want the side effects of the fallout behaviors from punishment-based training, particularly in a large group play situation with other dogs. Mm-hmm. So what I've seen a lot of is dogs, they think things are coming from a different place, or they make odd or strange associations between, I was here and the white dog was next to me, so maybe the white dog is the problem, and you'll see some redirection issues. There can be just different types of issues around that.
Yeah, and I'll also say that if a dog, because every once in a while we get a customer that be like, no, I'm trying to train this dog, and they'll want the dog to wear an e-collar, or they'll want the dog to be muzzled in group play. And it's like, wait, hold on. If a dog needs one of those two things or both of those things, that dog should not be in group play.
No.
I mean, it doesn't mean it can never be in group play, but there's some things that needs to work on and needs to happen before they can be in group play. So absolutely. I would really encourage you not to let customers push that kind of thing on you.
No, don't let customers influence you to make those decisions, because those are not, like Shantae said, if a dog has to be muzzled or wants to use an e-collar, they shouldn't be in group play. There are many other things that dog can do, right? And there may be times down the road that he or she could come back and be in group play, but today's not that day. right?
Yeah. I mean, and I took care of a lot of dogs. I'd say 50% of the dogs that I took care of at my facility were human companion dogs, non-social dogs. And we just put them into enrichment activities.
Yes.
Straight one-on-one enrichment.
Yes.
Now look, the customers paid more for it,
Of
but
course.
they saw the value, and that was the best option that they had. They didn't want to put the dogs in, a vet office where it's a small crate or something like that. So they were happy that I was accommodating and that I was creating a special program for them where the dogs can really have a good time while they're staying with us. Because, sometimes people are moving, people have workers at their house. There's all sorts of things that happen.
All kinds of things. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Dogs need care too, and they need a place to go to.
Yeah, we did the same. So because our flagship service was training, we had a lot of dogs that would come and go that didn't play well with others, is what we said. They don't play well with others. And when you really think about it, what your client wants is your dog to have a good time, to be exercised physically and mentally, and to be socialized, maybe not with other dogs, but out in the world. And enrichment checks all those boxes, and it's safe, and the dog is having a good time. So there are so many ways to do that. And certainly dogs that don't want to play with other dogs, it's not that big of a deal. Let's just create something else for them. And we just want to be able to, make sure they are mentally and physically enriched as well. But no, I would, and never did put a dog in with a muzzle or an e-collar. Never did in over 25 years, and wouldn't to this day.
No. And I think that's another misconception that we can talk about, is that not every dog needs to be in a pack.
Not every dog wants to go to daycare. No. About half of my personal dogs did not want to play in a bunch with other dogs, and half of them did. And it's just like people, like some people want to go to that party on Friday night. Other people are like, no, I'm good. I'm going to stay home and watch a movie and order pizza. And that's okay. Neither one of those is right or wrong, right? We just know what your dog wants. We respect their limitations, and then we create what they need around that. And there are lots of places that can do that. And enrichment is, without a doubt, those activities are the way to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I agree. All right. Well, we're getting to about time here. So last thing I will do is, again, I'll reiterate, if you're interested in Pet Guru College, I put the link up there. You can look at the page and find out all about it. If you want to dig in a little deeper and see more of it and see all the different modules that we have in there on the things that I mentioned, I put in my demo call link. So we're happy to give you a demo. And if you're not a part of our Facebook group, Grow Your Pet Care Business, please join. It's a great place to go to for advice and just get support and to get know how to do this, how to do that. You get tons of great advice in there. So I will put the link up right here.
There's a huge body of owners in that Facebook group, and I have seen some really, really great, experience shares for people. So yeah, I would highly encourage you to jump in there. There's like over 4,500 people in that group now. Like, it's huge.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. It's Wednesday, week's halfway over, so much closer to the weekend. All right.
Bye.
Bye.